Good evening, SuperCoach Elites. Welcome back to our live SuperCoach predictions pod. We're going to go back and review a couple of the predictions we made at the start of the season. First of all, big shout out to supercoachchampion.com, who have been a major sponsor of us all year. The ring has gone to our Divi 1 winner. Who won Divi 1? Does anyone know?
I saw the
I'm
post,
pretty
forgot who
sure,
it was.
pretty sure it was Eli. I'll get it up for you.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So
going.
Eli's got the ring coming on the way. Congratulations. And a shout out to our Patreons at patreon.com/SC Elites. Now, we don't have Bombs here, so we're down one member. We knew we weren't going to get Bretta here. We do have a star-studded lineup of the Elites backroom staff, who are probably better than Bombs and Brett anyway, let's be perfectly honest. So normally Bombs would say, where can listeners find us? Oh, hit us up on social media at SC Elites on Twitter and Patreon. Find us on iTunes, Facebook, SoundCloud, and Twitter at SuperCoach Elites. Sorry, not Twitter, YouTube. YouTube. Now, if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Give us a bit of a follow. Give us a bit of a boost in the off-season. We're going to come at you this year with a bit more content in the off-season, YouTube exclusively. So if you are a fan of the show, we got the Patreon going at the moment. We added a couple of more channels to the Patreon this week. We've got now? NFL chat, NBA chat. I think golf chat got its own channel. Lunch, Dizzer was a big lunch fan, so we've got pictures of everyone's lunch coming through. FPL. So look, the Patreon isn't just about SuperCoach. I mean, predominantly that's what we talk about during the season, but now we are in the off season, so it is bouncing. Who joined the other day? It was his Frothies41, who literally just joined for NFL chat, and he's been loving it. So as of October to the start of the preseason, it will be free. So jump across to the Patreon, jump in there, and enjoy the family, enjoy the perks of the off season, and just talk some shit with the rest of the boys. I know Diz is pretty active on it. Pete can get in there from time to time. I don't know the rest of you boys are actually that active on it, but fuck you all anyway. And let's get on to it. So, first of all, look, I might as well introduce a couple of the boys. We got the serial pest Dizzer.
About time we got me on.
He's been wanting to get on a pod all year, but we wouldn't let him do it. We got Jesse.
Yep.
So Jess. We got Schmitty with us.
Yo.
Setters.
Howdy.
Big Dill Royal.
Going.
Oh yeah, we call him Casino around here. And of course, the one and only admin scores Pete. Welcome to the party, mate.
G'day, boys. G'day. Nice to be on here.
A lot of people want a Dizzer on throughout the year, Pete. But more importantly, I think the big Pete following that, especially on Twitter, they were pretty keen to get you on. And look, thanks for all the work that you boys do all year. I did say it on the final podcast, but a lot of shit comes down to me and Bombs front up to the podcast every week, and we get a lot more credit for what we do. But without a lot of you guys there, we wouldn't have so much content. Smitty with your spreadsheets every week. That's been a big positive. Setters, draft articles are absolutely amazing. I mean, of course, we've got admin scores, Pete. Dill Royal just helps out so much with scores and everything else as well. Jesse's just normally topping the ranks for us, but he's had a pretty shit year this year.
He's helped out with scores too.
He does a lot of scores too. I'm just dipping him.
Yeah.
And then Dizzer, the admin staff around the back, who just does all the coding. Anything that you see up on YouTube, anything on not our socials, but anything around there, that's normally Dizzer. And of course, if you've seen the Mr. Bean meme the other day, that was pretty good. We got a pretty good meme.
Loves himself a bean.
Oh, he does love himself a bean. All right, well, let's get started. And I think we got Dill Royal, who's up first, the casino himself. Talk us through a couple of these picks here, Dill.
Yeah, so probably just start with the defenders. I think Jake Lloyd probably was always going to be my number one pick. Although I didn't actually have him in my team throughout the whole year, just should have been too expensive. I was always playing catch up, and I was really annoyed not having him. Red Laird, I think he was my first pick defender. Wasn't looking too good, but when he moved into the midfield, it was really good. Sicily, again, I didn't really have him. Caleb Daniel was a lock for me from round one. Bashir Hulu at the back end of last year was really good for me, so I had him. And Zach Williams, I thought he would have another good year. Midfield, well, Jack McRae, Lockie Neal, and Paddy Cripps were my first three pick midfielders. And I thought Clayton Oliver was going to have another big year after coming off a good preseason. And net 5 as well, you're always going to have him, the Brownlow medalist. And then the forwards, I think Lockie Woodford would have been probably first pick for everyone in the SuperCoach teams, and Dusty Munn with their forward eligibility. And Andy Brayshaw I thought as well was going to be a good pick. And then also probably would have been biased with Devon Smith coming back at a cheaper price was always going to be a good selection. And Hugh Greenwood as well going to Dockers.
Well, just ran some figures there for you, Dill. You hit 3 out of 3 because we did do this on average at the start of the year. So Sicily did scrape in there. You had Sicily, Lloyd, and Laird. The other 4 didn't go through on average. Caleb Daniel pretty stiff because he did average over 100 on the season as well. You had 3 out of 4 in the midfielders for the top 6 as well. And you had, what was that? Jack McRae, Lockie Neal, and Clayton Oliver. And you hit 4 out of 6 up forward there in Whitfield, Dustin Martin. Dustin Martin only just got in too. Who was the other one? Greenwood and Brayshaw. Yeah. Brayshaw was a good one. Brayshaw was the one early that a lot of people had called and then kind of stunk it up at the start of the year and come back. But we got you overall here too for the season, Dill. Got that written down. Where'd you finish? 12,195, which isn't bad on a year that was filled with a lot of shit going on.
So I believe that's really bad, to be honest.
Yeah, it's bad for me. I went back 10k compared to last year. So
if you're not beating 12,190, you're no good.
Yeah, definitely. That's right.
Bit stiff there, mate. But look, no real shot. Anyone surprised with any of the picks?
No,
Basher Hooley,
really.
Zach Williams.
Maybe Williams a little bit, but not
Yeah,
really.
maybe Williams.
Pretty safe.
I think
Okay.
Yeah,
We got to remember we've got a season of data to look on. If you look back at last year when we didn't have all everything, I mean, Basher obviously going AWOL for he had a lot of family shit to do with this year, didn't help.
Yeah,
so
Absolutely. Yeah.
Clayton Oliver.
No Doherty in the
Mate,
back line's
what-
interesting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I thought it
Yeah.
definitely started slow coming off 2 ACLs. That was probably hesitant why didn't pick him in the top.
It was the polar opposite too. He started like a house on fire.
Yeah,
and
he started like a house
absolutely
on
shit
fire.
bed,
The
mate.
first half of the year was amazing, to be honest. Sorry.
Yeah, if you take out the 185 against us, you probably had a bit of an average year, to be honest. But
I was going to say, I mean, I was talking to Bonds the other day. He's got him in a keeper league, and he's talking about how he's a lock for a keeper, and we're having a bit of an argument. And he brought up that how many other defenders scored 195. My argument was, well, if he's got 195 in that system, and he's only just averaging over 100. How good really is it? Next season, does anyone think he's a lock? Anyone kind of early doors thinking that maybe they might stay away from Doherty?
No chance. I reckon.
No, it's
depending
a
on
hard
preseason
one.
games,
I don't know.
I reckon
Sorry,
they're playing
Sanders, you
different
want to
games.
finish that?
Well, I
So
reckon they're playing.
Dockers at all? No Dockers?
Nah, I reckon. For me, I don't know, this is just an observation, but I reckon a lot of the lower teams rely on one specific player to get it out. And that was always Doherty and I guess Simpson as well. But I just reckon, I can't see him getting as much as he did, in his 2016, 17 years.
Does Zach Williams affect his season?
No, he's going to play
If
midfield.
I reckon it will.
Zach Williams. No, I don't think it will
I
at
reckon
all.
it will.
Zach
It will.
Williams will go to the guts, and we'll have the luxury
Yeah.
of having Zach Williams as a defender who's out of position if he goes to Carlton. He'll
Yeah,
what about
dominate
Nick Newman
Carlton.
coming back? Nick
Well, that's
Newman
the other
coming
one.
back
That's the argument because, Simpson comes out of that side and Nick Newman comes back in. Does Newman affect him? Does not having Simpson there, is he going to be on kickouts? What's the go? So, a couple of questions that we've got to ask, but I thought it'd be a good one. Caleb Daniel was extremely good at the back end this year too.
Yeah, I had him all year. Caleb Daniel. He was great.
All
great
right,
year
all
this
right,
year.
Pete. Yeah, nice work.
We all can't be as Pete. And clearly we didn't do rucks in the season either. So, I mean, look, I think we'll go through this and we'll have kind of the same little setup, but bits and pieces all through. Anything to add on your predictions, Royal? Anything to add on your season?
No, I think a good pick for back then. I don't think any of us would have predicted Jordan Ridley to be a top 6 defender or close to thereabouts. So, I think it was a really interesting pick for most of us.
Came from the clouds,
Absolutely
didn't he?
nowhere.
Yeah. Hey, shout out, we got the merch on the way too. Obviously, I've got a beanie sitting on my head. We've got the stubby holders, which are really, really cool.
Looking fresh.
And where's the bottle opener? Here we go. Fidget spinner bottle opener. So they are all going to be available for purchase, cheaper for the Patreons that are in there. We will have packs, and obviously we're rewarding those who dominated in leagues this year. So they'll be get them sent out, and all the admins that are sitting around in here, you'll be getting your pack on the way shortly soon. So
At a small cost.
at a small cost, you got to pay for postage. On to the next team, Dizza. We're dealing with.
Yep.
Admin Pete off the back. Here we go. Let's go down back. Now, Pete, you've had some great picks here. Jake Lloyd, Rory Laird. Oh, you can run through it, Pete. You run them through it.
Yeah, so Lloyd, Laird, Doherty, Caleb Daniel. Who else did I have in there?
Oh, you can't see the screen, can you? You're on your phone.
No,
I'll run you through it.
Yeah.
Tom Stewart, Caleb Daniel, Sicily. So you had in order Lloyd, Laird, Dockers, Stewart, Caleb Daniel, Sicily. Stewart was the unlucky one. He actually only just missed out. In there, I mean, a couple of likes. Tommy Stewart. Pete, explain that pick to us.
Yeah. No. So just thought like Geelong, they're very high possessions kind of team. So I would have thought like he'd get at least 15 to 20 touches every week and marks. So that's my reasoning for him. So yeah,
Worked well. Must say too, Peter, should have given you this one off the top. You are highest ranked of us today on here with a 4,104. So you had a pretty good year.
Yeah, nah, pretty stoked with that.
Let everyone know. Look,
the
good
high
year on and
bar
off the
thing.
field on Twitter as well.
I was going to say,
Sorry?
you don't really need to tell people in the video about Pete's rank because he's already put it out to the Twitter community.
Yeah, I've brought it out on the
15,000
tweet last night. So, yeah.
Great social media game. Lockie Neal, Jack McRae, Tom Mitchell,
Yep.
Josh Kelly, Nat Fife, Clayton Oliver. So a couple in there too. And then up forward, Dustin Martin, Lockie Whitfield, Dev Smith, Andrew Brayshaw, Hugh Greenwood, Christian Petrarca.
Yeah.
So you went on the Petrarca. There was a lot of people that weren't overly wrapped on him at the start of the year, and you went on him early. Pete, explain why.
Yeah, so I ended up didn't pick him on throughout the year, but I just
You didn't start with him. You did pick him through the
I
year.
didn't start with him, but I would have picked him for top 6 on the basis he would explode this year. So yeah.
Yeah, not bad there. Not bad.
Yeah.
So what'd you have? He had 3 out of 6 down back. Yeah, because just me out. 3 out of 6, 4 out of 6 in the midfield, and 5 out of 6 up forward. So Pete off to an absolute flyer there on the prediction tally.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else? Anything else to add, Pete? You had a great year, mate.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm pretty happy with the year, and onwards and upwards for 2021, mate. Keep
Okay.
going.
Wait, just before Pete, how many years have you been playing SuperCoach for?
Geez, I wouldn't know, to be honest.
It's only been a couple, hasn't it? Hasn't been many.
I reckon properly, 3 or 4, but before that, I would have played maybe 2 or 3 before that. But now I'm taking it seriously now. I'm taking it seriously, so.
What tips would you give to the new SuperCoaches?
Listen to the SuperCoach Elites, I guess. So, yeah.
More
That's
importantly,
it. That's all I
listen
can
to
do.
admin scores, Pete.
That's it. Listen to me, mate. I'll give you good advice and, go from there.
So good. So good. On to the next one,
Nothing,
Dizza. Big Jesse. Here we go. Damn, but you can see the screen here, Jess?
Yeah.
Run us through it, mate.
So I think, Sicily and Lloyd, I thought were going to be locks. I had Sicily ahead of Lloyd, which is, I don't know. It was a 50-50 pick, but
Hindsight.
and then in the end, I went Sicily over Lloyd in my team, and it just destroyed me. But that's right. And then Doherty, Hearn, and Houston were the ones that I went out on a bit of a limb for, and I think Doherty was all right first half of the year, but didn't return second half. And then Hearn and Houston, absolute spuds. Hearn just did nothing pretty much the whole year. Popped up with an occasional ton, but nothing other than that. And Houston, well, we were all this talk about him in the midfield in the preseason, and then nothing in the actual season. So a bit disappointing there, but Laird as well. Good season. Once he moved into the midfield, kicked it up a notch, and so solid there. Midfield, McRae, Kelly, Cripps, Mitchell, Dangerfield, Neal. I thought they're pretty much everyone you want in your finishing team, pretty much. And I thought they performed well the whole year. Cripps was a bit disappointing throughout the year, I must admit. But yeah, I had Neal 6. I genuinely thought that's where he'd end up overall. And I didn't have him in my team the whole year. And
Oh.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
O'Neal,
Jeez.
Jesus.
yeah, couldn't get to him, and that's why my rank is so low. But that's it is what it is.
least
I
he's
actually
honest.
thought, yeah, I mean, I thought Tom Mitchell would have that sort of season. To be honest, I thought Tom Mitchell would have the season Neil had, but just didn't. But that's right. Then in the forwards, Whitfield and Martin were good, solid. Heaney went out early with that injury early in the year. Walters, Greenwood, and I thought Toby Green might play a bit more in the midfield this year, but didn't seem to happen. So, yeah.
I love it. Look, you just made me. I don't know. Just put a little point down paper because I know we're talking about our overall, but we might as well talk about things that we learned and we didn't learn and what's going on throughout this as well. So, remember a couple of years ago, I done a piece in a pre-season. I reckon it was about 2 or 3 now, with a correlation between teams who finished in the top 4 and how many top line players that they had in each line. Now, I'm not saying that Lachie Neale, Lachie Neale was always a star. He had a great year last year and a year like that. I mean, but, names like Jared Lyons, they had a lot of them. Berry at stages through the year absolutely popped off as well. And they became players that, if not in a main league and draft, I mean, you took Jared Lyons throughout the whole season. I think up till finals, he averaged about 125 or something just under that. Should we be paying more attention to the top end teams and the midfield talent that they put out there? I'll flick to you for this, Smitty.
Sorry, I actually zoned out. Go to someone
Yeah,
else.
typical. You look like it. Jess, you want to answer that?
Yeah, look, I think you're onto something with that. Like even Geelong, like Menegola, Guthrie, Duncan, all elite sort of scorers this year, and they, you wouldn't have picked Menegola as sort of like 100+ averaging play at the start of the season, would you? But he played
not
well.
to do what he did. And it just made me think, because you said the Tom Mitchell thing. You said we'd expect Tom Mitchell to have that kind of a year. And it just got me thinking to, the ball winners and how much ball they get and how much they dominate games. And, I mean, because I was the same. I thought Tisha was going to have an amazing season. I didn't start. Did I start Neil? No, I didn't start Neil, but I had him very, very early. And, yeah, so it just got me thinking on that. Isaac Heaney. Sorry, said us.
No, I was just going to say, I reckon like outside players probably are more, benefiting from the top teams because you got like, Andrew Gaff and that from West Coast who get just a shit ton of the ball. I reckon if they're in bottom sides, maybe they're not going to get anywhere near the points. But I think the inside mids are sort of pretty, because they sort of get their own ball. So.
But you got to remember clearances and scoring chains as well. I mean, players who are going to dominate and get a lot of the pill. Like Tom Mitchell's going to get a lot of the pill, but if he's handballing it to no one, he's not getting a clearance.
He's pretty back at centre as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, and it's you look at Lachie Neale's season, like how many clearances does he get? All right, well, how many of them are actually him kicking outside of the square rather than him getting the ball to one of the ball users who go forward? They have a lot of players who run off the halfback flank and things like that. Pies do that. You get a lot of Pies players that seem to butcher the ball, but they get a lot of points by giving it off to Crisp as he runs past and kicks the ball long, and that's the clearance. Clearance is whoever gets the first one to get it out of the pack to get out to kick it outside of the square. I think it's just a run.
I feel like Richmond's like the only team that doesn't actually have good SuperCoach scoring type players that are sort of the top end of the year, like Adelante. So like you see, like Ducky's probably the only one that's like a real SuperCoach sort of lock sort of thing. Like Bashahul is alright, Prescott can be okay, but there's not really anyone else that screams out pick me.
They're one of those teams that really operate on the system, aren't they? They're one of those teams that
that's definitely something. Yeah, it's definitely something I noticed this year. Like, with my Brownlow predictor, like, so hard to give votes to Richmond players, even when they're winning. Like, they're obviously going to poll, but like, it's such an even side that it's hard to pick who stands out the most.
I mean, prime example is Shai Bolton.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for injury, we would not have seen Shai Bolton run through midfield and absolutely dominate.
I reckon that's the same with St Kilda. Like, they're trying to develop.
I said it. Fuck me.
But like, I reckon that's sort of the system they're trying to replicate is that Richmond system, and that's why there aren't. The only standout really is Jack Steele. And other than that,
well, that comes back to that conversation, and it's said as a St Kilda man. St Kilda next year, if they're going to continue to improve, they've got a lot of upcoming players. I mean, is Jack Steele just become a lock because he's going to be that clearance player?
Ooh.
He's going to be the player that gets it to Hunter Clark, Jack Billings, Caulfield run off the square. Like,
Brad Hill, all that.
Yeah, I mean, we do not talk about how good his Supercoach here was.
See, my only concern is that whole thing about like the Richmond system. You've got like, one or two players who's scoring 100. Everyone else is sort of scoring 90s to 60s. Like I don't think that there's going to be anyone other than Steele who's going to be that relevant. So I reckon like Steele, because he gets his own ball and he's basically the one person who gets all the clearances a lot of the time, then yeah. But other than that,
Hunter Clark run through the midfield setters, you reckon?
Well, this is now that you say it, setters. It's as in a draft league, I own Hunter Clark and Caulfield, and you notice weekly that their scores just fluctuate. They just change.
Exactly.
1 week, one's dropping 100, the other one's dropping 60. The next week, you switch them around.
That's also
it's a great point.
That's also because like I don't know, they're Caulfield. He's 20 years old. Like he's playing intercept mark. Like every second week he'll get a lot of intercepts, but he's not consistent enough yet because he's young. Hunter Clark, I don't know. Because he's such a good kick, you almost don't want to waste him right in the midfield. But I think he will get a lot more midfield time next year.
He'll definitely be there. Jesse, Isaac Heaney.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
Just, are we going to do it again next year?
No, definitely not. Every single season this seems to happen, doesn't it? It's terrible. Like every single season we hear his midfield and we get sucked in every single year. And it's because he always finishes with that around 100 average. We're like, oh, this could be the year he goes 110 plus almost. And every single year he just around that 100 mark. And I don't know. This year they didn't have much forward options, so they played him forward anyway. But yeah, I don't know. Just can't do it again. Can't do it. It's like third or fourth season in a row. Can't do
What's
it
he
again.
coming in at next year?
Oh, he'll be discounted because of injury as well, right?
It's going to be sub 5.
Yeah, probably 450.
I'm going to end up with Isaac Heaney again.
Has Bryce Mitchell done a projection yet on him, or?
No idea, but we got to check that out. Shout out to Bryce Mitchell. He's a fucking good community member.
Yeah, he's good.
He's priced at 468 at the moment.
Yeah, what do you average?
94.
Yeah, you'll probably come in just under 5. Jesse, anything else to add on your team? You've done all right. 3 from 3, 3 from 3, 3 from 3. I mean, 3 from 6, 3 from 6, 3 from 6.
No, probably just not owning Neil killed my season. That's it.
Nothing more to say.
Bryce Mitchell's got Isaac Heaney expected 459k.
Oh,
450.
I said 450. Pretty close.
Yeah, Pete. Yeah, but that's because you do your own predictions, Pete.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm a freak at that. So, yeah.
I see. That's going to be a killer. It's going to be a killer because I'm going to start him. If he has a full preseason, I'll start him. I'm that dumb that I will start him. I already know it.
Well, we know that first part. You're dumb.
There's probably no point living in denial.
Don't know about the latter. Are we ready for the next team?
Yeah, mate.
Oh, the one and only.
Super disaster. The serial pest, mate. You want to run us through what's going on? First of all, your rank for the year was 12,147, so not too bad. Well done. You just picked out.
Above that 12,100 mark that we want.
Yeah. Oh, God. I can't even take you serious. I can't believe you're on a fucking pod. This is the worst.
Well, we'll start off with my defenders score. This is where it all went downhill. Like, why would I have Jake Lloyd first? Like, come on.
Yeah.
But Dan Houston second, thanks to you and Bombs talking me into it. Bad decision.
He's a fucking dog, that guy.
Wait, Bombs or Houston? Both. Sicily third, wasn't bad, injury. Rory Laird, Mr. Reliable. Basher Hooley, Sook. Zach Williams, good player. Don't know about that one. Mids, Josh Kelly. I thought Kelly was going to have a breakout year this year. I even backed him for the Brownlow start of the season. Thought this was
Oh,
his time.
let's not talk about that because I had like fucking $150 on him.
Jack McRae, Lockie Neal. I think I might have been one of the only ones here that was smart enough to start Lockie Neal. Paddy Croops, Flog, Bontempelli, Dangerfield. I don't know where they actually ended up finishing up because I never put him in my team. But how did Bontempelli and Dangers go in the end?
Yeah, Bon was top 10. Bon was top 6.
He was.
He was 5th.
Now
you know Merritt was top 6.
He was.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
And then Hunter, Lockie Hunter on average was top 8.
Zach Merritt will be good in the Adelaide jersey next year.
Adelaide, no.
Don't even say that, Dizza.
This is Jack Stephen. You want to explain that one?
Yeah. Now, honestly, Geelong, what are you doing? Learn how to play this player. Just chuck Dangerfield, chuck Selwood, everyone up forward, and just let Jack Stephen control the ball out of the midfield. Menegola, fuck him off, delist him. You don't need him. You got Jack Stephen. Like, play him to his potential. Seriously. Honestly,
And the more interesting one is the man that's sitting at number 4 right there.
Don't even get me started on him.
Did you or did you not start Darcy McPherson in your team this year?
I did. How could you not after his pre-season?
But
How
hey,
could you not?
what happened to that? Who did that go to?
Yeah. Who did I trade him to week 2? The one and only Christian Petrarca.
Yeah, so that
Stick
works.
that up.
Nice. That's
Better
it.
than my week 2 trade, Dizzer. We've been there. We know how I went with my week.
What'd you
2
do?
trade.
Pretty sure I told
You
you
know.
not to do it too.
You did.
No,
You definitely did.
I missed. What'd you do?
I might have traded in Connor Rosie
Oh, yes.
after 135
Yeah.
average after the first 2 weeks. Traded him in and he didn't score over 50 for the next 8 rounds until I traded him and he scored an 80.
Well, you
Wow.
just
Did
got
you
to
see him
listen
for
to
8 rounds?
Ouch.
you got to
That's
listen to me, Joel. Come on.
I traded him out when I traded Devon Smith out and got Petrarca and went for a rookie or something. I don't know.
This is a we
Well,
start 2021 with Jack Stevens.
Depends if Geelong get a new coach.
Yeah.
If they fuck Scott off, then yes.
Making finals, Scott out.
I tell you what, if Darcy McPherson averages 120 over the preseason again, he'll be straight back in there.
Darcy McPherson is so shit. Couldn't even get a dig at the Bulldogs.
Does hindsight say that we should never pick players who aren't full-time mid? Because I remember even when they were talking about him during the preseason, they're saying, well, even though he's not playing mid, he's scoring 130s. And we're going, well, maybe he should be playing mid. Otherwise, we're not going to pick him.
Well, he had midfield minutes in the preseason, so it wasn't the ugliest pick. But you're right. Your point is correct. And I make little notes throughout the year and, doing podcasts. And I've got my little diary that pops up week to week that, it gets a little bit of a squiggle in when we're doing pods and stuff. And I remember a couple of weeks ago, probably a couple of months ago, literally wrote do not pick players based off their coach's word. And it's like Dan Houston. That's it. That's the whole thing. Was Dan Houston's going to be a midfielder. Dan Houston's paying for the midfield group. And from year to year, I'm normally a lot smarter than that. And I normally sit there and say, all right, well, let's do the eye test. Let's wait and see. And I said it for so many players in the offseason, but for fucking God knows what reason, it was Dan Houston. I can picked him over Laird. I bred a slab, and Dan Houston's a dog. So, you make a great point.
You have a look at Darcy McPherson in his preseason. He played midfield heaps. First 2 weeks, they sat him on the half-forward flank and just left him there.
But I just
They
remember,
have midfielders, but that's the difference.
Yeah, they do.
It's
Yeah.
And
they've got
also,
midfielders.
I remember looking at articles where they're saying, here's his average for the JLT or whatever it's called. And they're going, despite not playing in the midfield. I'm going, so maybe he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't playing dedicated midfield.
They definitely had midfield minutes in that preseason. I do remember it. 100%. I remember watching it.
That is a flog.
That's the other one that I do like to have a look at is players who play who have great back ends of the year as well, where they've got it. I mean, Josh Dunkley you'll hear me harp on about that because he was the one that I started purely off that. And next year, that just brings up the Luke McDonald factor. In a full season, does anyone think Luke McDonald is startable?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he
There you
is.
He's the new
Yeah,
Lloyd.
on his back end of the
There you
year,
go.
I think he is startable.
He's a new Lloyd, but he's got a better beard. His beard's all right, but it's not as good as Smitty's. So.
Depends if North Melbourne delist him or not.
Yeah.
Hasn't he?
Very good. So on that theory, Setters and Jesse, are you happy locking up what? I think it's going to be around 1.2 mil on McDonald and McDonald won't be that much. That's actually all right. He'll be about 550. Yeah. So yeah, 550 and Lloyd will be about 650. You happy up locking 1.2, 1.1 mil, 1.1, 1.2 mil on those two?
I don't know. I reckon Lloyd's someone you can sort of, because he's full price, I reckon you can sort of wait and hope, just pray that he has a bad week.
I'm gonna tell you what, that's not gonna work because I went with that theory this year.
I
didn't know it for a whole year.
And the year before. And the year before.
Yeah, if I had him the year before.
He dropped like 10K off his starting price.
And he's going to be a lot more.
Yeah.
Someone, while we got you, someone
Yeah.
go across to Bryce because he definitely would have had a look. Have a look. What's Bryce
I'll
Mitchell
get it up now. I'll
for
have a look.
McDonald and Thinger? But look, 1 point is it all right? Can you spend that much money on two players who could potentially average 120? I don't think McDonald will do that, but I think
he can.
I mean,
is it going to change now that we're going back to a full season? But
Ooh.
You're going to be spending a lot of money on Ruckman as well, though.
All right, here, I got it for you. 663 for Lloyd, 518 for Luke McDonald.
Yeah, so 1.2.
Luke McDonald's a lot.
1.1. Yeah.
Like, Corey,
I
you're
think
probably
I
going to
agree.
spend that as well on the Ruckman as well, like Corn and Grundy.
But are you? Do you have to? Like, is anyone? I mean, I know it's very early, but is anyone confident that Tim English could have a pre-season and be ready to be that next step? Like,
You
He
can't
needs to
trust
play
him.
Essendon every week,
Nah.
though, probably.
No, I don't think so, Corey.
I know.
I don't think so. I don't think so either. I think there's always a potential of what we saw happen in the last few rounds of this year, like where they just didn't really have any faith in him as a ruckman, and they were just putting Dunkley in there. So.
Here's my next question.
that
Things
was
that we
bad.
don't think about. I don't think that'll happen again, but who's GWS's ruckman next year? Are we going to get a value ruckman there? Tell me they go pick someone up that's sitting in the twos, that they could use. Like Darcy Cameron would have been a prime ruckman for GWS.
Sure.
Like he would have been fantastic for them. Can they go find someone that's going to be in there? Because Jacobs is done, Mumford's done. There's talks of is it Finn? Is that his name?
Flynn Perez.
Flynn. No, not Flynn Perez.
Yeah,
Matthew Flynn.
Matty Flynn. There's talks that they think
Yeah.
Matty Flynn can be their ruckman. Now, if we're gifted with that, it's 117k, 123k at the start of the year.
Yeah, maybe.
Not as your main ruck.
Why?
You could drop a few 50s,
Don't worry about 50s. If he's solo rucking for GWS with that midfield, ignore what happened to the end of the season. If you can save 600
to get up?
and put it somewhere else, what do you mean? How you found the money that you got to get up? He's going to play 8 weeks, and then it's a 1 up, 1 down. You're basically going to get yourself a Grundy.
I just think
hang
if
on.
you've
Riley O'Brien, Sammy Draper.
Draper.
Yeah.
Locking Draper.
yeah, but
We've had it 2 years in a row.
We have, haven't we?
They had what?
Yep.
They had what? They don't tell me they're rucking to good midfields.
No. I'm saying if you are trying to find the money to go from like a budget ruckman to say a Gorn, you're relying so heavily on that ruckman to get at least 70, 80 points a game. Otherwise, you got to find
That's
400.
Got to happen.
Yeah.
Your ruckman is they're going to get there. Find me, the worst scoring number 1 ruckmans on the year and tell me what they averaged. What did Nankervis average?
Don't know.
He's not their number 1, but
I had him in
all right,
another.
Soldo. What did Soldo average?
Probably 80s, maybe.
What did Machak average?
Like, just go to any fuck this. I'm going to go to Rucks right now.
Soldo
Yeah,
was a
I'm
75.
Nankervis averaged 82, Soldo 75.
Yeah, there you go. Like,
It is a bit of a risk, but
Jared Witts averaged 93, and I think Jared Witts is a lot better. Like, Scott Lysette, 96. Sam
Francis
Jacobs averaged
70.
96 in his games. Peter
Even-
Ladham's
oh,
averaged
no.
85. Benny Mack averaged 84 when he plays a fucking defender. Omac averaged 82.5.
But then have a look at
Segler
78.
fucking averaged 70 in his shit.
have a look at
Fuck
Sam
Segler.
Draper without Bell Chambers in the team. Like he's averaging 60s, 70s as a first year player, like first year right, playing on the field.
That's perfect. He finished the season, and we didn't even finish, and he scored a 32 last week, averaging 70. He's worth 320K.
Can you believe
but
Reece
unless
Stanley
you-
averaged 102?
I mean, Draper was playing like.
Look,
50,
Setters, I'm not
50
saying I'm going to go in there. I'm more likely to play
Flynn.
I'm more likely to play a Matty Flynn on the bench. But
Yeah.
like you get it. So go his position. Go Lloyd and Flynn versus Gawn and rookie forward, rookie defender, and weigh it up that way. You're going to get roughly the same amount of points.
No,
If
it's not
not
the
more.
points. It's my concern is getting to go on. Like
But
you've
that'll
got to
happen. You got to remember we're going to go back onto a normal year where you're
Yeah.
not trading rookies out at 200K.
That's also true.
Yeah, because that's. I mean, if I think about anything this year, what was the biggest fuck up? Well, probably trading rookies out for 220K. To make it
Or
100.
guessing.
Yeah, like it was just fucked.
I'll probably have to overpay for rookies as well, like at 150 to 170 mark as well.
Are we worried about the lack of rookies with how many
Oh.
played this year? Or are they just going to come up because that's what happens every year? We're going to have a draft. It's going to be new players.
Yeah.
North
this draft
listed
is getting
11 players.
Hey, Setters, I'll ask you a question here. GWS, when they first entered the competition, or North now, who's going to have more value picks
And you
at
gotta go North.
102K? Fuck this shit.
There's gonna be some
Look, I know,
talent.
and I know we're getting off topic, but I think we're having good conversations for next year. And I know none of you are bonks, so don't get upset if I yell at you because I'm going to yell 24/7.
That's all right.
Done.
You just
Diz,
passed it.
sorry we took your thunder. I can see you're a little bit upset up there that you didn't get more airtime. Do you want to?
No, it is what it is.
Let's move on.
I might just end the video now.
Yeah, I enjoy talking to Setters. He likes to challenge me, so I like it. Oh, this is going to be fucking ugly. I didn't want to do this. All right, boys. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait,
James-
just before you start, can we just have a look at that number 6 forward? And everyone, just give him a round of
He talked
applause.
me into that.
Give him a round of applause.
That's about as good as the McPherson pick.
Oh, fuck up, Joel.
Hey, who averaged more?
Oh,
Segler.
It was definitely Segler. In other news, paid up the SuperCoach insiders today too. That hurt for the Devon Smith versus Petrarca bet, so that wasn't fun. But I'll go through mine. James Sicily at 1. Look, if he didn't get injured, I know he was in for about a 770s at the back end of the year. He was starting to look real good. We're probably not going to get him next year, so we'll have him as a discounted defender in 2022. Jake Lloyd had him number 2, didn't even have him all year. Rory Laird had him number 3, didn't have him all year. Dockers, well, he's got 0 heart. Dan Houston's a dog, and Shannon Hearn is shit too. So I think I got 3 there, but don't deserve it because I didn't have any of them. Jack McRae, Josh Kelly, Paddy Cripps, Dangerfield, Lockie Neal, Tom Mitchell. Have we talked about Cripps yet?
everyone's had him.
450.
I think
Have we got?
I
Dizza,
mentioned-
can you do the Mitchell look? Brycey Mitchell look. What would Cripps need to be priced next year for you to start him?
123.
It was so serious too. No one knew what the fuck was going on. Pete, what would Cripper have to be priced next year for you to start him?
Geez, that's a tough one. I reckon for me to start him, between 475 and 500, I reckon.
Fuck.
That's a no lower than 475.
Nah, Pete just wants 475 tomorrow. Setters?
529 is his predicted.
Well, there you go. We got 529. Would
Nah,
I'd
anyone
pay
have a bite of
550.
I don't think I'm touching him.
So you'll start him next year then, Setters.
I reckon he's had a shit year, but like from
In-
all the Carlton supporters I know, he's looked injured. If he has a full
Yeah.
preseason, he's fine. I reckon.
Hang
he's
on, all the Carlton supporters except Bonts, who now just thinks he's shit. And
Yeah,
hates him.
sorry.
Yeah.
Wait,
But he-
for an extra 20k setters, you can get yourself a Sam Walsh.
That's another. That's a very
Bargain.
tempting.
Is that going to be the price difference between the two?
Yeah.
But can we look at? He hasn't scored that badly this season. Like he's, it's not been great, but 97 average. It's a weird season where players
had to have been hurt. We're going back to full minutes. He's a gun. Are we worried about the emergence of the other players? Could that have been what affected him?
I think it's
I
just
reckon
the
it- I
low.
reckon it was.
Who's a better
Lack of
ball
help on
user,
the
Sam
inside.
Walsh or Paddy Cripps?
Sam Walsh.
Cool.
Outside.
Yeah, probably. I'll probably agree.
And look, we'll throw a spanner in the works there. What about Paddy Dow?
Paddy Well.
Heard of it.
Sorry, who?
Paddy Well.
Well, and that's the other one. I mean, what happens when Williams comes in? Is now Dangerfield. Is now Cripps. Is he just now that what we spoke about Neil before? Does that help clearances?
Yes.
Yeah. Look, again, I agree with you. I think I'll pay $5.29, and I think I'll be angry, and then I'll have Heaney, and I'll be angry at that as well. I probably won't have Lloyd, and I'll be angry at that. So I'll just
And
be
you'll have
angry.
Dan Houston. You'll have Dan Houston again because Ken
fuck
Hinkley will
that
say Dan's going in the middle.
And then we get good chat.
And you'll
Look
look
up
at
forward.
his. Oh, go. You're right.
Dustin Martin, Lockie Whitfield. Now, I was big on Dustin Martin. I thought he was going to average 110, so he's a dog too. Devon Smith, Hugh Greenwood, Isaac Heaney, and Johnny Segler. Now, look, Segs, not going to lie, looked good early, and then replaced Heaney. I don't even know why I had him there, but, hindsight's 2020. Have I got anything to add? Nah, I'm fucking shit at SuperCoach, and that's about it. If we didn't have banter on this podcast, it'd be fucking useless. Actually, it's got golf chat too.
I reckon Corey outpaid in just quietly.
What? Oh,
Corey outpaid in.
Oh, believe it or not, I still fucking beat Brett and Bombs, so.
Oh, well, that wasn't hard.
No. On to the next one.
They both don't have a full brain between them.
Oh, Schmitty.
Oh God, I haven't seen this before. Yeah. Jake Lloyd. I've had him as number one, and I never owned him, so that was good of me. Sicily, doing what he's doing. Doherty, didn't think he was going to be as down as he was. I thought he was going to be more up. He wasn't bad, but he was sort of just thereabouts. Rory Laird, I had him all year. Houston, again, I got sucked into the whole Marsh series chat. Shannon Hearn, I was probably still sucked into this whole kick-in business that he never really took on. Mids, just the usual names, I guess. Nothing really outstanding there. Mitchell probably I thought was a little bit down, but I don't know actually where he finished in terms of ranking. But
did you start Neil?
He wasn't top 10.
I didn't start Neil, but I actually started Bont, and then when we had that break after the first round and we got all those 5 trades in that round, I traded Bont to Neil, and so I probably could have ended up with them both, but I had Neil all year essentially.
Yeah.
Forwards, Lockie Whitfield, Dustin Martin. Obviously, everyone was raving about them at the start of the year when their status got released. Toby Green, I don't know what I was thinking there. Michael Walters, Isaac Heaney, Devon Smith. I think probably from 3 to 6, I just sort of thought no one really stood out to me, and I wasn't really sure. Apart from the top 2, I could have just thrown a blanket over maybe 10 guys for the next 4 spots, and that's just sort of where I fell, I guess.
Look, I don't hate it. It's about the same as everyone else's, but Michael Walters, is he done now as a SuperCoach contender with the emergence of Brayshaw, Sarong, Chera as midfielders?
Yeah, I don't know if he's done, but Freo, definitely unveiled a few surprising picks that sort of pushed, Walters and Fife more forward. And yeah, you're not wrong when you say about Brayshaw and Chera and Sarong and all that. No, it's pretty much to answer your question. I don't think he's done, but I think his midfield time is limited now.
Anyone else got any questions to what we
I
just
just
saying?
want to say, we haven't had Bailey Smith in any of the teams, and we've only had Petrarca in one of them.
Yeah, well, I think
Hindsight.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
And that's it. It's 2020.
And no Jai Simpkin either.
Yeah,
You know
no.
what?
Orange man.
Jai was one of my shouts in the preseason pod too. Question. Do we think more people are going to pick riskier players next year because of what we've seen from a couple of those boys?
Well, that was sort of my theory this year, because after round one and that, when we had that break, I just sort of went, oh well, this year I'm just going to go make the trades I want to make. I'm just going to get who I want to get, and if it works for me, then good. Some of them did go really well. When Josh Kelly got injured, I brought Jack Steele in round 5, and that was good till the end. And on a normal year, I probably wouldn't have taken the risk on someone like Jack Steele that early in the year. And there was names like Maynard and Ridley and even Nick Haynes who early on looked like they were must gets, and went and got a couple of them. And then, again, and on a normal year, probably wouldn't have. So I don't know. Next year, I think I might be a little bit more reserved again, but there's definitely reward there for taking risks.
It's funny, and now I'm just throwing up a random name. Sorry to cut you off there. Just chucking up a random name, but like Xavier Dersma, who literally played that game on the weekend, basically as a full-time mid, in the guts and then out on a wing. Like, are they kind of names that you could look at next year? Not necessarily Dersma, but players like that?
I don't know. Dersma's probably a bit early on for me. He's going to be in his 3rd year?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
and that's what I mean. So players coming into their 3rd and 4th that could break out, like Petrarca did. Cam Rayner. Yeah. Can Cam Rayner become when he was drafted, the mold was Petrarca. These are Bulls. It's Dustin Martin. Petrarca was Dustin Martin. Rayner's Dustin Martin. Can they go into their body? Can Cam Rayner become the next Petrarca?
I think he can. I don't know if it's next year, though.
Yeah. Anyone ballsy enough to try and pick one?
No.
You think next year? I mean, knowing how you play SuperCoach, does anyone here comfortably say I could try and pick one?
Not comfortably, but I'm on Liam Duggan.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But is the worry that they have too many midfielders?
Nah, he's young. He'll come in. He's good.
Who goes out?
Fuck if I know.
Great shit there, Sitters. Great shit. They might as well trade one. Send your Elliot Yeo back up to Brisbane.
No, but I reckon this year's been such a weird one for because the scores have been so much different in terms of how they're done. There's been so much up and down scaling that everyone said it's the year for the mid prices essentially, because you got to hope that they're just going to score. You look at Jack Steele, he's gone from 90 to 120.
Yeah.
But in the same note, you've got players like Darcy McPherson have gone from 70s, 80s to 60s, and there's such a big variation, which is why I don't think it's going to make much of a difference next year in terms of who you pick.
Do you think we're going to get sucked into those numbers though? Jack Steele averages 115 or whatever. Do you think
segue, because I literally just wrote down.
It's going to go down.
Players have done this before. Think about Michael Hibberd. That body of work that he put in, and then we started that year. I think was it last year or the year before, where it was like, Michael, we got to start Michael Hibberd. Look what he done last year. Yeah. And it's like, well, he fucking went nowhere. We've had midfielders do this before. We've had plenty of midfielders have one season.
I think Steele will average 100 plus, but because of scaling, he's been massive because he's been Saints, their only mid.
Who's games that they've won close.
Yeah, so the way I see it, he's just going to have the same sort of year next year as any other good mid does, where he'll score 100 plus, but it won't be 120s.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think this year? I don't know if it's true or not, but it's definitely felt this way for me. I don't know what you guys think, but the way players have started games, they've been rewarded more than ever for. If they start well, you get an early 5 touches or whatever, you get up to a quick 30 points. It doesn't really matter what you do for the end of the game. You sort of get to 100 regardless.
Prime example, Devon Smith in that game. Was it the first game of the year when he snagged? Yeah. He had 4 touches. He snagged 2 goals and had the goal assist. And it was hard. Yeah. It was quarter time or half time when he was on 80 from 4 touches. And it was that.
And then it's
Or
the flip
in
side the
clutch-
other way around. The guy starts slow, doesn't get a
Yeah.
touch, and for the first quarter, and then he just can't get back into it. Even if he has 20, he still finishes on 70.
Or it
But
was
then if you
Jake
look
Lloyd
at-
who doesn't touch the ball in the first quarter and then just fucking racks them up.
Yeah.
But if you look at clutch moments, like Dangerfield getting 170,
Yep. On the
That
weekend.
was great.
because he was on
Yeah,
what?
on eight at quarter time.
Yeah,
Danger
Yeah.
finished on 170 on the weekend.
Yeah.
yeah.
Holy shit.
79
I don't mean my
at
draft
three-quarter
team.
It was
time.
like a 100-point third quarter. Well, what did he
Yeah,
kick?
last
The game
quarter.
was on the line. He
Last
kicked
quarter.
3 too. Yeah, or
3
last
goals
quarter, wasn't
in
it?
the
Yeah.
3 goals.
It's crazy.
Thanks, Scores, Pete. Thanks for that clarification.
Oh, no, Norris, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything to add on Smitty's team, anyone?
Nope, not from me.
Look at her across.
Setters.
Setters.
Not one to look at, really, is it?
Let's go now. I like this because there's a couple of out there picks that we can talk about.
All right. So if you look at the defense, it's pretty. It's safe except for Dan Houston, and I think we all fell into that trap. But it was weird because like
Still averaged near 100, didn't he?
I don't know what he. I got rid of him early.
Yeah, me
He-
too. I
he
got rid of him
averaged-
as he started popping off.
Average 91.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
It's
And
weird. Like
he's added. Sorry, catch you off. He had a 3-rounder average at the end of 110 and a 5-round of 103. Fucking, this is the finish of the season. 115, 99, 77, 108. Fuck. That week that I traded him out, he went 117, 109, 107.
He would.
Wow.
Sorry, Setters.
that's all right. Well, the thing is, like, he didn't average. He didn't not play in the midfield. Like they tried him out in midfield,
Yep.
and he didn't pop off like we thought he
No.
would. Zach Williams, I think, had he not had the regular injuries that he had, I think he would have done all right. Doherty was just a weird one. Like he, went high early and then did fuck all for the rest of the season.
Just to ask you a question, just while we're on the Dockers. If the season was reversed, and I always talk about splits, talk about, the half the season, the 4-quarter split. If the season was reversed and those shit scores were at the front of the year and the good scores were at the back, how much of a hype train would we be on about Sam Doherty right now?
Oh, I know. We'd all be crawling
Yeah,
to
for
get
sure.
him in.
Yeah.
next year.
So
I was literally
is
thinking
that-
about that same theory today about how everyone goes on about all Australian selections. Bloke doesn't do anything for the first half of the year, but he comes home like a house on fire and everyone's like, oh, he must be all Australian. Like, we all forget.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
So in that instance, should we trust Sam Doherty to just say, look, he's first year back, he's a bit sore. Like, we got to admit that, that Carlton were pretty bad towards back into the season. Carlton will improve next year. Are we going to get a better Doherty again? Can Doherty go back to 100 average? Because he doesn't have to average 120 to be good. He has to average 100.
Yeah. I think he can.
I think he can.
Yeah.
I think so.
Setters?
No, I've been burnt. I'm hurt. I mean, I think hindsight tells us for this year that we should have picked form players. Like if you look at the who scored big this season, it was weird names. Like I had Jed Anderson in my draft, and
Gun.
I picked him. I gave away someone really good for him, but I can't remember who it was. But I copped a 174 in the final with him. Like it's just, I think we, in normal seasons, we sort of wait a bit before picking up players. We go, okay, can he do this for 5-6 weeks? But this year it was like, if you've got a 3-round average of 120, get on them. Like,
Get on
because
them.
we didn't know.
it just seemed to happen. It was like Dumont, like all these random.
I was going to say
players.
same team, but Trent Dumont.
We
Like,
didn't have the time this year to
Yeah.
wait.
Oh, yeah.
Jared Lyons.
And it all happened. Like they were all scoring really well. Like I just got fluked having Jared Lyons, Steele, Dangerfield, Titch. I suddenly had the best midfield in the whole.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the draft, yep. Onto your midfield. Same as everyone else's, really.
Yeah. Move on.
Clayton Oliver, a lock next year.
Yeah.
I had
He's
Oliver
the
all
ball.
pre-season, and I fucking traded him to Fife like a week before it started. I was sorry.
I think that's a bomb.
Sorry?
I did that to Bond. I had 5. Sorry, I had
Yeah.
one over the whole preseason. Then I changed him to
And
Bond.
changes to
On
Bond.
Friday
That
night.
would have been Bretta's fault.
Wait, question for you. Next season, can you start McRae, Neil, and Oliver?
I'm going to try.
Because
I
Oliver's
think
going to be about
so.
660k.
But then you got to add to that because then you got to add Lloyd. Then you have to add
Yeah.
Gorn.
Yeah.
Then you have to add
Gorn.
Grundy.
Grundy, yeah. Might be
And there you
short
go.
on cash,
That's
for sure.
that's what 5 million or 3 million.
And then if Fife becomes a forward, you probably have to pick him as well.
Yeah.
Neil,
Right.
you're going to be looking at 700k for.
Dangerfield.
Here's my
Maybe-
call.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Said it.
No, I reckon the biggest traps of next year will be the breakout stars of this year. So
Like,
I reckon
Yeah, Petrarca. I don't
Steele.
think you can pick Petrarca next year.
Ridley.
Steele,
Maybe
Jared
we'll
Lyons,
Ridley
all
Ridley
that.
next year, though? I think you can. I think you can pick Ridley still.
Yeah, Ridley's different. He's-
Yeah, but he's got that defensive component. He's not going to be super expensive.
Depends what team
You
he
know.
plays for
I
next
think
season.
I think you know what you're going to get with Ridley.
Ball's
I
going
think
to be down the
Petrarca's
dip as well.
Sorry, Dill.
I was going to say the ball will be down.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
deep, so-
Um, But yeah, no, I agree. Said
Especially when Merritt
it's those players and that you're gonna have to avoid, and then your job up forward is all right. Well, who's the next Smith? Who's the next Simpkin? How many of them can we pick? How much risk do we want to take?
If you go on about the breakout years, though, you got Luke McDonald.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a fair point. But
I'm
I
just
think
worried if you could tag again.
But yeah, you're probably not paying as much for Luke McDonald because of his shit start of the year.
And see, my only thing is, I think with midfielders like Steele averaging 120, I don't know. I've just noticed that midfielders who are just contested beasts, we're getting so many points,
Yeah.
especially in the scaling. And so,
Sorry.
oh, you go.
No, I can finish it.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't think Steele and Lions and that are going to get the 150s that they were getting this year.
No, Jared Lyons didn't get enough respect anyway this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does North Melbourne's game plan change with everyone going out the door? Or is the game plan going to stay the same because it's the coach and they're just going to try and put new pieces into the game plan?
Give it to Luke McDonald.
That was literally the game plan. That
I was going to
literally,
say that.
here's our
That was literally
quarterback,
what they did.
throw the ball to him and good luck using it.
Yeah, even saw Luke McDonald at times like get angry at his teammates when they weren't
Yeah.
giving it to him, like when they were kicking him.
Yeah, I actually noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the ball, you fucking prick. The good thing with Luke McDonald, I reckon he's a stat-hungry whore too, because he's always walking out of that
Yeah, he
square.
steps out of the box.
Yeah, and he'll literally, like, if it's a 15-meter kick, he'll step through the right to take the 15-meter kick. He wants the stat.
He's definitely the sort of bloke who plays SuperCoach who picks himself.
Yeah. And lets his opponent know about it while he's standing on him too.
Yeah.
He requested all the delistings at the football club just so he can dunk the ball.
Yeah, you know that Higgins fella, he's a pretty good kick. Can you fuck him off? Yeah, Jared Pollock, I didn't like that game where he came in and took my possessions down back. Fuck him off as well. Oh, God. Setters up forward.
Yeah. An interesting one.
This is good.
I guess the only real talking points, Heaney got injured. Walters was a weird one. Like, I'm not going near him next year because I had to look, he was getting like 60, 70% mid-time, and then it went down to like 10% after his injury. So just a no-go for next year.
And that's it. They're still going to want to pump those young kids. Like
Yeah, exactly.
Sarong,
I
Chera,
think
and Brayshaw, they're 200, 250, close to probably 300 game players.
Do you think the quick rise of Sarong sort of caught them off guard a little bit though?
100%.
He sort of come in and just dominated from the get go, and then sort of forced them into having to move other players out, and so he could stay in the midfield. Like,
I'll tell you what.
If he has
just gone blank. What's the coach's name?
JL.
Yeah, Lungmai. Like, I loved him at Collingwood as an assistant
me
coach.
too.
Mate, he is such an intelligent coach.
He is. Big
and then
loss for Collingwood.
I feel bad for Essendon because they got to deal with that other dickhead who doesn't have half a brain between his ears and
And Ruckman,
Rutten. But yeah,
Try to find track.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Pete.
Hey,
Yeah. But no, I agree with you. I think Walters won't be SuperCoach relevant now moving forward.
But then I reckon Parrish could be a lock for next year. I'm gonna say it again.
Who knows without
He's
coach,
not.
man? Like,
He's
That's a
not
big
going to be.
statement.
He's not going to be a forward back.
Yeah, that's true. It's a fair
Yeah.
point.
So
A lock
'cause
nonetheless.
the past, like my counter argument to that is Andy McGrath, man. Like he could be a value pick. Like
Yeah.
he could be a seriously good value pick.
Legit, how many I reckon I counted at least half of the team of the weeks that got the 1K prize had McGrath in it when he was scoring 120.
Yeah.
The amount of times I saw
had
his
him.
name
I
in there.
got him in the draft. We had a redraft at the start of the year, and someone dropped him at the end of last season, and I took him with my first pick in the draft.
Yeah, nice.
yeah.
In a keeper league.
Before he,
I couldn't believe that.
yeah, before his injured affected game, he was averaging 100 for the season, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it wasn't a bad season for McGrath.
And
He'll
he's
probably
gonna
be
be
a
One
priced,
left field for sure.
Thanks, Diz.
he'll be priced around 515k.
Is that confirmed or is that?
Yeah, that's projected.
Well, here's a question for you then. You got one pick, Cripps at 529 or McGrath at 515?
Cripps.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm still Cripper.
Good question.
And I love McGrath. So there's a good chance I run the season with both of them.
I'll probably go for McGrath, just based on I'll go for Essendon.
Smart pick.
Oh, based on that theory, I'm picking Tom Phillips next year.
And based off
Love
that
it, Dom.
theory, I'm
Love
also
it, mate.
picking McGrath.
So you're picking Tom Phillips.
Yeah, go.
Why do you love Parrish so much, Setters?
He
Is
is,
there a
No,
bit
like-
of? Have you had him in your draft teams, and there's a bit of like love?
I was sort of trying to grab him at the end of the year because I noticed how well he was doing and I had him at the start of the year. And then he basically, Woosha and Rutten fucked me off by not playing him in the midfield. And then I dropped him.
And that's the one thing that worries me about Parrish. Is that
Yeah.
they love to send him to a forward flank.
yeah.
But he's shit in the forward flank.
Oh,
not
Said as a year.
He'd be the
better.
kind of player that I reckon if they went and put behind the ball and used him as the quarterback, and this is the hardest part because Jordan Ridley's such a good kick that I reckon he would really bloody.
What about
relish?
But
it.
would he take Zach Merritt's midfield, Tom, when Zach Merritt goes to Freo?
There you go.
100%. Yeah, you should.
If I tell you what, if Zach Merritt moves, I can't see how I don't start McGrath next year.
Yeah.
What about
I'll
Zach?
be putting him straight in. I'll be
What about if
putting him straight in.
Zach Merritt doesn't go? Do you start him?
Merritt,
Yeah.
He's
not
not
at the
value.
price.
He's a lock.
Not
He's a
at
lock
the
for
price.
next year.
He'll be 620.
620s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I harped on him all year, every single week in the podcast. I'd always say his name. He's a gun.
Yeah.
He's
But
a gun.
he did finish top 6, so he could rival those Tom Mitchell or McRae
Yeah.
picks.
Neil, McRae.
But
Yeah,
line him up against
he's
those
another
names.
one. But he's another one who's getting like huge scores because of that scaling.
Yeah.
I
From the
don't know.
contested ball. If you look at his last years, it's never been that high in terms of his ceiling.
In saying that, he always plays in splits. Like this guy does it. He is my split guy. This is where it all came from. I mean, a couple of years ago, I was just looking at his splits. Like his first 5 to 6 games of shit. He then starts to improve, and then back half of the season, he just fucking pops off all the time. But you could be right, Setters. He might have got luckier this year because he had those games where he was scaled up a little bit more at the start of the year.
He's actually only he's only ever hit the 140 once before this year.
But sometimes those kind of players are the perfect players you need to have a balanced team. You need to have 2 or 3 players that are going to go either 100 or 180. The rest need to be 110 to 130. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
Back in the year was pretty hot.
I just think at 620 next year, I couldn't go near it.
Would you factor in this? I don't know how everyone else saw Essendon. I'm obviously not an Essendon fan, but do you think there was a little bit of damage control about Essendon though late? Like, I feel like they went to him just a lot. Like, I know he can win his own ball, but there was a lot of times I saw him just coming up for that little 45 kick at half back. And he'd have 35 touches and he'd have like 7 contested possessions and Like
Yeah,
those
I think
sideways
they
kicks.
did.
He always does get a fair bit of uncontested.
Yeah, he's our
balls.
best midfield kick, so I think we were looking to get the ball into his hands. Like, we all know Dylan Shield can't kick the footy.
Yeah, I reckon he gets a lot of those short.
Devin
those,
Smith, like,
But do you
And-
think
and
that'll
fun-
change next year though, or they'll just keep looking for him at every chance?
If he plays at Essendon, they'll feed him the ball.
I think
yeah,
I think
They don't trust
anyone
anyone else. But again,
can't.
McGrath wasn't there because McGrath's a great field kick as well.
Yeah, the last 4 weeks, Merritt was probably the one that was getting all the footy because we couldn't trust anyone else.
I actually think Zach Merritt averages more than 150 next year in the Gold Coast Suns.
Well, this is my thing. So this is my
You're
theory.
giving him 4 different
Now,
teams.
It's early. There's a lot of stipulation, but I love star players who go to new clubs because clubs go recruit those kind of players for a reason. Tom Mitchell, when he first went from Sydney to Hawthorn, who was the other one? There was another one. I can't even fucking remember him now. Dangerous. But they're the ones because they're going to get them. Now, if you go get a player like that, you're making them. They're eating a bit. That's it. They are your player. They're the one. You're coming to be the superstar. Like, fucking God forbid. Imagine Hawthorn pull off something like that. And this guy's going and playing in a midfield with, Titch and Warpedo where he can be the ball user. Like, his numbers could fucking skyrocket. And, Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of him at 620 at Essendon.
Especially Parish as well. I wouldn't be starting him. Like, nobody else would probably start him in the half-forward flank next year as well. So.
Yeah.
Fuck Essendon, this shit. And Jordan Dawson said us?
Yeah, I just checked. He averaged 99 for the end of the year.
Who?
That's all I'm saying. Jordan Dawson.
What's the end of the year, though?
It wasn't as bad as last 7 rounds.
Yeah, there you go.
Wasn't it?
That's a good pick.
He wasn't top 6 for the whole year, so...
No, he was. I got rid of him after round 1.
That's not a good pick.
Yeah. Sorry?
There you go. There was hype. Look, mate, if Houston was hyped, he was definitely a hype man as well.
I thought he was, because from what I heard on the off-season, he was Sydney's best kick. Like, he was... someone called him the best kick in the AFL, so I was like, well, naturally they're going to give
around a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets thrown
But-
a fuck ton.
Lucky
Got sucked into it.
Disposal efficiency, best kick in the league.
I thought Dawson would bloody... I thought Dawson would steal Lloyd's points, honestly. Didn't happen.
Admin scores Pete, 100% efficiency at posting scores. Best kick in the AFL.
Probably Lloyd.
On to the next one, Diz.
That is it. I think
Is that
that's
everyone?
it.
Anyone not get their teams done? No, that was it. That was everyone. There you go.
Well, we'll move on to the league results now, hey?
Yeah,
We've
go
got the
for
league
it.
winners made up, thanks to Will. So there's,
Fuck, do we really?
Yep. there's a group winner, second and
Dyslexia
third.
United. Fuck me.
Mate, do you even realise what you just did then? Dyslexia United. Read again, champ.
Oh, Dyslexia Untied. Fuck,
Well done.
that is so good.
Oh,
Fuck, this guy legit actually got me. Fuck, so that's Tom. So who is Tom?
Well, we don't know because he's in our group and there was 962 entries. So if you are in the top 3 and you've been a Patreon member, message us and we'll go from there.
Are we going to give him the chance? Hang on, here's the theory. Are we going to give him a chance? If they sign up before the end of the month and they're in the top 3, we'll send them a pack?
I guess that's your choice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hit us up.
I'll say fuck them, but up to you.
But look, they got till the end of the month. So what are we, September? So if they can hit us up before the end of September, they've got 7 days. They watch this within 7 days and they sit there and they know about it, then they'll get it.
Just while we're here, Corey, I've got a bit of a stat for you. And it's not a good stat based on our YouTube. Only 50% of our subscribers watch our videos.
No, other way around. Only 50%
Other
people
way around.
who watch the videos.
Yeah, that's it. That's the way. That's the way. Sorry.
Dyslexia United wins again. Yeah, no, look, it's very disappointing. Now, if you do tune in on YouTube, please just hit the like and subscribe button. It goes a long way. It costs nothing, and it definitely helps us out.
And if you want some more group videos, just let us know in the comments too. Any suggestions? Welcome.
And look, hey, buy into the chat because we are in the off season, and I will jump on the YouTube account every now and again and check it out. Comment anything we've spoken about today. Like, fucking, if Seta's pissed you off with just how much he hates anyone, just let him know about it.
Or
if you like Pete's head, give him a compliment.
Yeah, if you want tips from Pete and you want his mobile number, just contact us. He's also single as well.
Fifth overall is fucking grouse.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Jeremy Michael.
We'll move on.
Hashtag struggling, Nathan. There you go.
We'll move on to the next one. Is the Divi 4 results.
Here we go.
The promotions.
No one's going to be
relegation. Admin's teams added to make up numbers. Nobody will be relegated.
So get a touch, Riley, Happy, Chappy, Daniel, and Gact FC and Jack will go. Gact FC's all right. I think I played him in another league.
Yeah. All right, we'll go to Div.
So they're up to Divi 3 and Divi 3 going down. The veggies, rest in peace, veggies. Sorry, Diz, I was just segueing you there. You didn't want it.
Wait on, I noticed Gact FC's got promoted from Divi 3, but I think I just seen him in Divi 4 too.
Yeah, he goes. He's going to double promotion, Gact FC. Yeah, he would not read about it. Happy Chappy, Daniel, get a touch, Riley. I think all those ones were, he hasn't had a promotion.
He did winner. He did a winner, but that's it.
You fucking idiot, Will. We'll get all that.
Oh, Will.
Onto Divi 2.
They have changed. That's good.
One leg Coyote is going up. Hamstring awareness is going up. Shane and the sharpshooters and Brett, man. Sharpshooters had a great year as well. Nards is going down. Brett is going
Brett
down.
get relegated from Div 2?
Yeah, he's shit.
Oh, boy. Come on, Brett.
Hey, shout out to Nards, who's a big fucking DeChambeau fan, that's for sure. Hoppy Heroes is going down as well. Ross and DeChambeau, my boy. And Group 1 going up. Dusty's Jeep, Benjamin, Brussels, Best, Jakey. Oh, he's no longer a Patreon, I remember that.
Nah, he's no longer a Patreon.
Yeah, and Papa Bear. And relegation, D's Nuts, who's an admin. A slice of Sicily. Jesse, is that you?
Yeah, that is me.
And Timmy's Blues.
Hey, let's all give Jesse a round of applause again, too.
Thank you.
Welcome to Div 2, Jesse. Can't wait for you to get
It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wait, let's just, while we're on here, too, seeing Will get relegated, Will's just been relegated from his admin job, too, from those photos.
We got any more slides? I didn't know this was coming up. This is impressive.
We got the tier 3.
Oh, there we go.
Winner.
Stacked.
So
Michael.
this will be Stacked will be getting the ring, the championship ring. This was
so you'll be getting a ring and a prize pack as well.
Yep. And the draft league was 24 Nuggets, thanks, from Zach. Who I don't know who that is, but congrats.
Prize pack as well.
And we've got one more.
As long as they're still Patreons, by the way.
Yeah.
Must add that.
I assume I'll be in the draft league next year.
Yeah. Look, to be honest, you'll probably run the video because I know me and Bombs didn't fucking do a thing all year in that league. We went to the draft league, we didn't do a thing. We definitely weren't winning it.
Yeah.
I played you in the last round, Corey.
I think I had 45 Essendon players too. So my love for Essendon started before I bought the membership.
We'll move on to the final results, and it's a big one. The SCE Cup.
Mate, this is I cannot begin to tell you how much I love Bradley. I am the biggest Brad fan. I'm so happy he fucking won it. He came from absolutely nowhere. And he's been, he's followed the page since we had like 300 followers.
Legend.
Yep.
He's just a good man.
Have a look at the score difference between him and second to win it.
Yeah.
Fuck, 5 points.
5 points gets him $100 and a merch pack.
Yeah. And a tier 2 membership.
And the 12-month tier 2, yeah.
But we will have to have a chat with you, Brad, because if you want tier 3, we'll probably have to get you to sign up to tier 2 and go from there. Bottom of a grading, Josh is an admin who does absolutely fuck all. Honestly, the admins in here, how many of you know Josh or have had a conversation with him?
I was legitimately about to ask who the fuck is Josh.
2 meter Peter. And 2 meter Peter.
Yeah.
That guy who doesn't do anything.
Joel is the most active in the group chat, and he doesn't know who Josh is.
Hey, can we get Harry back? Or
Yeah, I know. It's fucking. Who made a Peter
I'll
might be
sort it
getting
out.
relegated, that's for sure.
Josh?
Fernstein's third and
There you go.
Joel Smashes fourth.
I think Thurnsteeds has a merch pack guaranteed from Bomps anyway.
Oh,
because
Bomps
he
reckons
locked
that
out
he can, no. Bomps said that he'll send him a piece of merch. So
Okay.
Bomps reckons he sent him a fidget spinner, and now he said
Yeah, I
he
was
can
going
get
to say
fuck
a
as he
fidget
want
spinner.
it. Yeah, he said he can get fuck as he want it. But I'll put
Yeah,
2 in the
well.
pack for you, and then we'll just charge Bomps the fucking $5.
Hashtag Bomps out. Hashtag Pete in.
In.
That's all we've got for the slides, Corey.
Oh, so that's all we got for slides.
That's all we got for slides.
All right, boys. Now, you do know you got a couple more questions coming. This went for a lot longer than I thought. I hope no one's going to go yet.
No, I'm good.
About 5 minutes. It is the off season.
I'm good.
Your favourite pick of the year is something that I thought we we're going to run through. Doesn't have to be the best player. It just has to be your favourite pick of the year. And we'll start. Did anyone kind of get prepared when I told them that they would go? Because we'll start
Somewhat.
there by the others. All right, beautiful. Setters, we'll start with your favourite pick of the year, mate.
Does draft count?
Look, I'll let you have draft if you want draft.
Truck. I reckon I picked him like 200. Based off that, I think it was 3 goals, 38 touches against Adelaide in the preseason.
Hang on, who'd you say?
Petrarca.
Oh, Petrarca.
Yeah. Picked him. I think I picked him like pick 200. And that was just, best pick all the season by a mile.
Yeah, no, like that. It can be, you can trade him in during the season as well. I've got no harm with that. We'll go with you, Jesse.
For me, it was Petrarca's teammate in Clary Oliver, only because I captained him on that week. He went 200, and so in a bad season for me, that was my only highlight. So
The shining light of a bad season. Always fucking good. Admin scores, Pete.
I would have to go.
My whole team.
Nah, I don't know. I reckon Max Gawn. I ended up having Goldstein for the longest part of the season, and then trading him when Goldstein had his bye, and then Gawn came in for him.
Off.
So
Don't mind it,
yeah,
Pete.
fucked off Gawn. Fucked off Goldstein, came and brought in Gawn. Yeah.
Nice. Casino Royale.
Mine's probably going to be a bit biased, but Jordan Ridley. I started with Phil Robertson, which was a great pick, not. But after round 1, I flicked him over to Jordan Ridley, and it was pretty.
You fucking done that at round 1. It was like 300k.
Yeah, so I picked him up in round 2.
That's actually a fucking beast trade. I joked about that on the pod. That's fucking
because I saw him in
insane.
the JLT, and he was just popping off like hundreds. And you were pretty hot on him, Corey. So
Yeah, the boss is a cocksucker.
Yeah, I thought I'd just jump on the Ridley train. And
I'll rate that so highly.
Yeah, it was a good pick.
Fuck, that's good as. Schmitty.
I'm gonna go something different. I'm gonna go with a rookie. Will Day. I love that kid. I reckon he's a gun, and he was a real good pick.
Going to be a good footballer.
But I'm gonna in my other draft league, one of my primo picks, Jaden Short, was good for me all year from the start. Average 97, so rated him.
Not bad. Serial pest.
Oh, we've got a few. We had a few chances too. Like I've quoted him all start of season in draft. Motlop. He started well, but he wasn't good. I think my best pick would have to be Darcy McPherson. Now, only because I got into Petrarca in round 2, and that put me ahead. So that would probably be my best pick. But we've got a bit of a shout out too, Corey. Patreon this week. We had a question over the weekend from Frothy41. Who should I bring in this week? And I reckon I've given him the best pick all season. Jai Simpkin, 144.
Not bad, not bad.
There's a Patreon pick of the year.
Patreon pick of the year. You had a fucking couple of good ones. For someone who's actually shit, you had a couple of good ones. Look, it's hard to go past Townsend when Bonds got me to trade him in at the start of the year. That's mine's left field. I've spoken about this on the pod as well. Mate, trading Fisher Mackesy to fucking Jordan Butts to get me 2 wins, including a semi-final win by 5 points, was arguably my greatest trade all year. I don't think he scored over 60. But without him, I wouldn't have been in a grand final. So he cashed for me. Big Butsy. Got dropped the last round, but I was no chance anyway. But yeah, big Jordan Butts. You
just love
come to
saying
my
his name,
circle
let's
of
be
love.
honest.
Yep. Look, I didn't prepare you for this, but you're most hated for the year. I'm pretty sure you could name a couple, but you want to go?
I've
Setters?
got mine.
Shit.
I'll go with Casino Royale because he's got it already.
Yeah, mine's Mitch Duncan. I traded him the week that he did his hamstring in the first 2 minutes, so I was fucking really pissed off. And I held him for about 3 or 4 weeks, and I went back and ranked him with about 10k. So yeah, fuck Mitch Duncan.
He's a dog. Hey, saying that, do you know I only just got over the bet with Bombs? He had to average 103 in the year, and he had to clear 58 on the weekend to do that. Fuck
Yeah.
me. That was the worst, last 3 minutes of my life. Setters?
I'd say just my M8 in general was like, it went from, you guys told me not to get him, but I picked up Brayshaw.
Oh, that was actually so funny.
And then I put him to Tim Kelly, who ended up getting a 180 out of the blue. But yeah, it just wasn't great.
Just the whole, it's a shit year when your whole slot in general is just fucking gone.
Yeah.
Admin scores, Pete.
It's a toss-up between Goldie and Cripper.
You know your year's good when this comes fucking tossing up goals. This is shit.
I'm going Cripper, I reckon.
Yeah.
Just based on his back end of the year wasn't too good, so yeah.
Jesse?
Lucky Neil, because I didn't own him the whole year.
Yeah, fair enough. Schmitty?
We've already been there. Connor Rosie, eat a dick. That was my fault, but still, eat a dick.
Mine would look. Most people would think it would have to be Townsend, but there's one that I hate more, and it's Alex Witherden. Because when I needed him, he come in 100 in the first week. It was like 80 something in the second, and then dropped, and has never seen a game in that team again. Now I'd be shocked.
Fagan's fault.
Yeah, well, honestly, I'd be shocked if he played for Brisbane next year.
Oh.
They clearly have no interest in him. And he could walk into probably 20 other teams, even though there's only 18. Pest?
Well, we've got a few again. First of all, Chris
McPherson.
Scott. Chris Scott, not playing Jack Stephen in the right position. We've got Pitt and Net, the old strength.
Oh, what a piece.
And Ling Ling.
Ling. Matty Ling, what a dog he was.
I genuinely thought you were talking about Lin Jong.
That's racist.
Oh,
Yeah. Just his name. Fuck. Give me a break.
Oh, shit. Now, the question that you all were ready for was your lock for 2021. And we'll start with you, Setters.
Sharker.
Tracker.
Oh, yeah, I reckon.
Big
I
ball
like him.
setters.
As a midfielder.
Yep. I like him. Points.
Fuck. Hey, $5 this guy doesn't pick him next year. Admin scores, Pete.
Josh Kelly.
Casino.
It's going to be Roy Led for me, especially if he plays midfield minutes.
Shit. Is he keeping defender next year, by the way?
I don't know.
That would be very interesting.
Yeah,
I think he will because I think he played enough defence to start the season.
Played half the season, or more than half.
Yeah, he probably only moved into the midfield for the last 6 weeks, so I'd say he'd probably keep it.
Yeah, but it was only a 17-game season, so...
Yeah, true
Yep.
that.
Jesse?
Tom Mitchell for me.
Oh, what? Fuck that guy.
Who do you support, Jesse?
Hawthorne.
That's what
Bias. There's a bit of bias.
Smitty?
Lloyd. Jake Lloyd. Has to be.
Lloyd? Mine's Matt Rao. Because
What about him?
I just think that we're going to get him on low fours. And I
Already
think he's
forgot
gonna
about him,
average-
to be honest.
Is everyone going to
average.
pick him next year, you reckon?
Yep.
Oh, I
Is everyone
think
gonna
I'll
start
pick him.
minute?
I think I'll 100% pick him. Guy's a jet.
Do you know
And,
what he's
mate,
like, though?
think about how much knowledge he's going to have next year. Spending
Stewie
all
Dew.
that time with Stewie Dew. I mean, if he hasn't learned anything, at least he learned how to piss on the side of a pub. That's
You beat me
Hey,
to
look-
it, you know.
serious question while we're on it. Is anyone just like think that that's just absolutely farcical? I mean,
Yeah.
name me one Aussie bloke who hasn't gone and pissed on the side of a pub after walking out of it. Oh,
Yeah, I think
You're
we've all
not
done
Aussie,
it,
you're
I
not.
reckon.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't
Fuck.
done it because I've got some respect.
You
Yeah,
can't piss
you're
on
dumb.
walls. You can't touch your teammate's knob on when
Yeah.
you're singing the song.
Can't,
Like, far
can't
out.
stick your finger up their ass at the 3/4 time huddle.
Can't do anything, man. It's outrageous.
Bring back the good AFL.
Yeah.
Bring back the
Someone was
80s.
going to say something then about Matt Rowell. Was it you said it? So we asking his price?
Oh, I was asking. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, does anyone actually know Diz? Diz is on
I'll get it. Do you want my lock while we're doing it?
it? Nah, we'll just skip you.
Yeah.
What are you on? What are you on, Pest?
It's Jack Stephen anyway. We all
I
know.
mean, yeah, we do have Jack Stephen as an option.
McPherson,
you
surely.
Can
The
you
second
go
love
past?
child.
Can you go past Lockie Whitfield in defence?
Oh, yeah, that's a great one, actually. How fucked
call.
is that?
Rouse
Mm.
445 projected.
Fuck. Lloyd
Give him a
Whitfield
quick-
McDonald. I have no money anywhere else.
Yeah. That's a lot of money. Down back.
Thanks,
And
mate.
Williams, too, if he moves as well. Fuck, I'm probably not picking Lloyd again.
Well, just a suggestion for next season's podcast. Now that we've got the YouTube channel up and running, I think we start doing street talk.
If you want to go to Broady and talk to all the junkies, then you're welcome.
I reckon we do.
I mean, I'm happy to record it, but we'll just get Bombs to go do the talking.
I reckon we do pub piss ups where you go get bored at the pub, you do a Stewie Jew and you just piss on the side of the pub and see if you get away with it.
Gold.
Public urination on YouTube. Hey, boys, something that I wasn't preparing you for. Your Brownlow predictions. Who do you think's going to win the Brownlow setters? Is anyone not on Lockie
Chuck.
Neal? Fuck it, we'll go with that.
Chuck.
Lucky Neil's a lot.
I put money on him.
On
Yeah,
Put money on Chuck. Yeah.
You've lost a plot, setters.
No, it's a couple of bucks.
How much you got on Corey?
On who?
How much you got on Lockie Neal?
There's a little bit there. Easy. I'll tell you what, safest thing I do every single time I put on a futures multi, whether it's horses or anything, horses, golf, no matter what. Lockie Neal at $1.25 and Caleb Sarong at $1.25 are in every single one of my future multis. It's like
I
rising
would get Lockie Neal $11 though. I got Lockie Neal $11 for the Brownlow.
Fuck, that's grouse. I was like,
Oh, jeez. Yeah, you're laughing there.
I just want
grand,
Jack Steele second.
grand final winner and Norm Smith. Setters.
Hang on, what was it? Grand final winners.
Yeah, winner. And if you even want to give me one more, give me the two teams that are going to be there.
Port and Richmond.
How about it's not your turn? Setters?
Hey, I don't know. Geelong and Geelong, Richmond, and Norm Smith will be danger.
Admin scores.
And
Pete.
yeah.
Oh, here we go.
So
And-
winner will be Richmond.
Ah. Pete?
Is it me? Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going Port, Geelong, Granny. Oh, wait, hang on. Aren't they versing this week?
It doesn't matter, mate. They can cross over. You're fine.
All right, yeah, I'll go Port, Geelong, Granny, Ablett, Norm Smith.
Ooh, rate that. Casino.
I'm going Brisbane and Richmond, and I'm going for Jared Lyons for Norm Smith.
Oh, I love that.
Jared Lyon.
Setters, I'm surprised you didn't have St Kilda in there.
Look, I'm not a biased supporter actually.
Yeah, bullshit. You haven't shut up about them all fucking pod.
I haven't mentioned it.
Jesse.
I'm going outside the box and going Geelong versus Bulldogs with Marcus Bontempelli as the Norm Smith.
Fuck, the doggies doing it again, eh? Schmitty?
Yeah.
Surely Collingwood.
Yeah, 100%. Port and Richmond with Port winning and Boak.
Norm
Like
Smith.
it.
Yes.
Yeah, look, it's got to be Collingwood. I don't think anyone else is. If not Collingwood, probably some Collingwood Essendon.
Yeah, for sure.
Townsend,
I'll write
Norm
that.
Smith. I'll be. Nah, he's fat. It'll be Brisbane and Richmond, and I can't see how Dusty doesn't win another Norm Smith if they make it. The guy will sneeze and win a Norm Smith if they're in the grand final. Pest.
Geelong, Brisbane. And we know who's winning the Norm Smith. He's coming back from injury. They brought him in for one game.
In a losing team.
Jack Stephen.
Close.
I reckon good same game multi. Jack Stephen 30 plus into Jack Stephen 3 goals.
Into Jack Stephen Northsmith.
Into Jack Stephen Northsmith into Geelong 1-39.
I reckon Brad Close will win it.
Matthew Ling.
Prime line.
Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Anyone got anything to add before we sign out? It's been good. Look, I like
got
this.
one.
I wouldn't mind catching up with it for another one of these, maybe in the trade period or over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
It's about a finals one. We could do it. Sit down and chat about the final before it comes up.
I got one shout out, unscripted shout out. So trust me on this one. Sportsbet today put out a post of a shared tweet by a guy named Nelson Moody, who I know is a SC Elites follower and a colleague from work. Him and a bunch of boys put a $6 multi on every game of the NFL every week. They've been doing it for 5 years, and this week they hit a $200,000 winner.
No way.
33,000 to 1. 33,001. They put $6 on it, and it got up 14 legs, 202,000, 33K each. So good on you boys if you're listening. Well done.
Over the last 5 years, they're down 330K.
and if you guys would like to, just sign up to our Patreon.
A few of them might actually be, but I'm not 100% sure. But I know Nelson gets around it. I don't know who else is in his group.
Just talking about the Patreon while we're there, I'm going to read out every Patreon channel that we've got that you can jump in and experience for free over the off season.
From October 5th. From October 5th.
From October 5th. Sorry, I must say from October 5th onwards because there's one more charge. But look, if you want to give us $4 before then, we'd appreciate that as well. So in the free section is SC Elite's punters, general chit chat, podcast questions, which will be inactive, captain's poll, which will be inactive, community game day feed, which is still active for some reason, SCE Cup, SCE Poker, Friday Night Poker. That's another thing. You get to join the poker sessions. SC Draft, which is Setter's baby. Leagues, stats, draft league, game with elites. So there's a bit of gaming that goes on in there. The YouTube videos, punters club, syndicate bets, members confirmation.
No, you don't need that one.
Yeah, well, no, you will because when you get in, you'll have to confirm who you are. SC Elite's horse tipping, groovy music request, FPL chat, NFL chat, NBA chat, golf chat, trade chat, the draft stars, which is absolutely fucking popping off at the moment. And, of course, everyone's favourite chat, which is lunch.
Lunch.
Yeah. And not to mention the voice chats we've got in there too.
Yeah, voice chats which are in every single fucking night. Now, boys, look, if you're not, I know you're all not very active in the Patreon, especially in the Discord. I urge you to get in there in the off season. Get more active, meet the community, say hello. They'll love yous. It's fucking fun. It is so good. But yeah. Anyone else got anything else? Anyone else want to shout out a fucking $250,000 winner?
I've got something for you. I'll just say everyone's prediction or guess for a big trade in the off season, like a big play going to another club. Does anyone have anything to think of?
Not bad.
I'll go first on this one. Zach Merritt to any of the 17 other clubs.
Pick one.
Oh, I don't mind that. Setters?
Can
be as outrageous as you want.
Jack Williams to Saints.
You're such a fucking boys. Pete?
Danaher stays at Essendon.
Fuck, that doesn't.
Yeah, I like it, Pete. I like it.
Royal, what's yours?
I think Jacob Hopper won't be on the out at GWS. I think they need to go something big to get a Ruckman in. So I think one of their big boys go out.
Anyone could pick up Hopper. That would be an absolute.
Well, I've got a solution to that Ruckman issue. I reckon straight swap, Mason Cox with Jeremy Cameron. Done deal.
Wait, no. Wait, get rid of Grundy. Mason Cox is the best player to put on a Collingwood jersey in the last 55 years.
Just checked his Twitter. Jesse? This will be
I reckon.
related.
Nah.
Adam Trelaw to Hawthorn.
Why not get Higgins over to Hawthorn? No.
Only Higgins I've seen. Now, it did come from our big boy Tommy Brown before, but Higgins to Geelong is looking.
That's going to happen.
Aren't they getting credit?
Yeah, it's Geelong. They just get salary cap starting system.
Unlimited salary cap.
They're getting Crouch and Jeremy Cameron.
Is that their concession, is it? They don't get to host home finals at GMHBA, but they get an expanded salary
So
cap.
they just get an extra $1 million. Jesse, come on, mate.
We'll go Bruce to GWS.
Now I like that. I do really
that's
like
good.
that. That's a good one.
That's common sense there. Yeah.
Nah, Bruce is definitely going to go to Collingwood because that's all he wants to do, just be a shadow behind the
Yeah. Tell you what, fucking Pruthy will be a lock, I reckon, if he's fucking solo rocking the GWS. Schmitty?
Well, this is more of a hope. I just laughed and joked about Jeremy Cameron, but I hope Collingwood get after Ben Brown, so that's me.
Mate, if Collingwood don't secure a key forward in this fucking trade window, I'm going to bash
Go after
Pete.
Danaher.
We don't need one. We got Mason
Nah.
Cox and Lynch. Fuck my check off. Fuck the goalie off. We're set.
Alex Witherden won't be playing at Brisbane next year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pest?
Oh, I've said one already. Zach
Oh,
Merritt
that's
to
right,
any of
you
the
did
17
too,
clubs
yeah.
in the league.
Yeah, I like it. All right, can we sign off now?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
I'm an hour overdue.
Yeah. All right, Elias. Look, mate, how do you reckon this pod goes every fucking Tuesday night or whatever we fucking record? Bombs is always like, all right, I need to get up for work early in the morning. Next minute, it's like 3 hours later and he's still on doing a pod. All right, Elias, on behalf of all the boys here, everyone that's tuned in all year, our patrons at patreon.com/SC Elites, which you might as well jump in now that we're in the off season. Peace out, community, and thank you for listening/watching.
Subscribe.
And
Cheers.